The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Long before the sects divided, there was the enveloping darkness. It was in this dark humanity learned to trust the light, to run from shadows, and most importantly, to fear.
Brutality and superstition walked hand in hand in this dark time, but also hope. Hope that the heroes of this age could hold back the monsters and illuminate the path through the shadows.
The children of Cain are no different. Some run from the shadows, some turn to the light, and some become the monsters of legend passed down from one hearth to another.
Their story is one of loss, one of struggle, and one of death. For what can survive in the wake of those that cannot die?
This is what it means to be a myth made flesh. This is what it means to be a vampire in the Dark Ages.
Welcome to our Vampire Dark Ages stream. We here at McStabber Studios understand that some of the subjects that come up during this chronicle are problematic by modern standards. Our goal is to handle these kinds of situations in a manner that does not directly or indirectly glorify these kinds of actions. While we understand that we are playing in a world of monsters, that does not mean we must be the monsters ourselves. Please also be aware, none of our cast are experts in history. That means there will be some deviations between the real world timeline and the vampiric world. You can go ahead and chalk that up to the Cainite influence on the mortals around them. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy our story. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to McStabber Studios' Vampire Dark Ages Glimpses of History. I am the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I am playing Elena Thorndaughter of Clan Lisumber.
I am Zachary Naldra, he, him, and I will be playing Brother Miguel of the Gangrel.
I'm Jeannie Varnish, and I'm playing Peregrine McSullivan, also known as Gwen, of Clan Assamite, playing a Toreador.
Hello, I'm Maddox, and I will be playing Snatcher of Clan Nosferatu.
Hi everybody, I am the Ravnos Archon, and I get to play Agustín Diego de la Cruz Cartagena Cardenal, Primera Espada de Valencia, Guarda Real de Aragón de Barcelona, also of Clan La Sombra.
I don't know how in the hell he can do that without falling over his words. It's been just over 50 years since we were last with this group of Cainites. They had just completed the fortress, the first floor of it, for Prince Radu. 50 years may be a short time for kindred, but it is a long time in the mortal world. So to make sure everyone is ready, I'm going to give you a brief overview of events that happened during these 50 years in terms of mortals and some kindred information. They first had to deal with the fall of Constantinople in the year 1204, a blow that shook the world, both kindred and mortal. It was then that the Pope instigated a full Fourth Crusade, which turned into an Inquisition. An Inquisition that has still been going on and has been getting bloodier and bloodier through the world. In the year 1206, Genghis Khan became the chief prince of the Mongols. Though he didn't invade right away. That came to be shortly later. In the year 1211, the Teutonic Knights, they helped expand the Christian feudal system through Transylvania. But Teutonic Knights, being what they were, after they developed Bran Castle that will later figure in this kindred's history, they decided they wanted to create their own state. And shortly after the Mongols began their invasion into Russia and into Eastern Europe, the Teutonic Knights were expelled from Transylvania. Though they did finish Bran Castle first. In 1241, this group of Cainites, dealt with the Mongol invasion of Transylvania. The Mongol invasion that occurred through Tehuta Pass, actually. That was their primary invasion route, though the fortress was well built and it slowed them down. Nothing was really a match for the Mongol horde as they come through. Hungary did, though, within a year, regain control of most of their territories, but King Bela IV lost much of that in the process. He was not of Hungary. 1250, as we're opening up with these Cainites, rumors have begun to spread that the Inquisition has begun to use torture to force confessions from anyone they declare heretical. And while their city has not yet directly faced the ire of the Inquisition, many of their neighbors to the west has. It is a dangerous time to be a Cainite, and though they do not hide what they are, the forces have begun to array against them, forces that are going to alter kindred history as we know it at a later date. We open up tonight in Belgrade, their city that has grown since they've taken over. The fortress they reside in is actually the palace of King Stefan Uros I. But located under the palace, though he doesn't know it, is a network of chambers, rooms, antechambers, hallways, and secret passages, all built by the master architect Zelios himself. And it is here these Cainites dwell secretly under the city. They have gathered in one of their chambers, a chamber that some might call a war room. It is where they discuss as a group events that are important to them in their ruling as a whole. Most nights the room is empty as each Cainite here has dedicated their rule over a specific aspect of the city. But I will let the players explain how their luck has turned recently.
Elena is escorted into the chamber by Sherazina, and she looks over. Sherazina, please return to your husband. I will join you as soon as possible.
Yes, Mistress Elena.
And she takes a seat. Well, it appears another one of my assets has been poisoned.
That makes how many now?
This is the second.
Hmm.
Sherazina's husband, cousin of the king. I believe we have a coup on our hands. Someone is eliminating potential, even obscure heirs.
Okay. Doesn't bode well for all of us.
Once is an accident, twice is a message.
Indeed. I have not ghouled her husband yet. This may escalate my timeline. They've just had their first child.
Hmm.
Has anyone else been experiencing deaths amongst theirs? I certainly have.
Amongst your ghouls?
No.
Oh.
Amongst the underworld denizens, not the ghosts.
Thank you for clearing that up.
The living, the humans. They seem sporadic as far as I can tell, but there are many contacts within the criminal element dying, and it has strained relations.
It's interesting. I attempted to use my associate Daniori in the King's Guard to try to establish some extra personal resources for myself. I have since not managed to gain any footing. I thought I was the only one experiencing some misfortune. Are we being targeted, do you think?
Certainly feels that way.
Rabbi went missing, but I chalked that up to Valentino and his proclivities.
Or that could be the perfect shield. Or distraction. What about you, Gwen?
Should they gain a contact, ally, a herd, got some resources, and been adding on into my debts with the Zemitzi so that we can get a wee bit closer. Can't say I've had any just at the moment, but I'll keep my eyes open.
I've made some inroads with different Revenant families, so I have some insight into what other leaders are doing. But
good.
It bothers me that our city assets are being targeted.
This is what it feels like, yes.
Indeed. A rabbi, confidant of the king, now his cousin. Your
miscellaneous scum.
Miscellaneous underhanded workers.
Morally scrupulous is, I think, a good phrase
That
for
is
you.
an excellent phrase.
Gray when it comes to
Yes.
the shades.
The morally ambiguous.
Yes, that is the word.
But I think, yes, we need to look into this. Sherazina thinks that her husband's illness is poison.
Should we get some tasters in here for him?
I believe
Food
that would be
tasters?
very wise. Because who's
We
to
could turn
say they
around.
don't target the king next?
Get some tasters in here and make sure that they're, shall we say, on our side
Mm-hmm.
and that their ears are open.
Indeed.
Because who's going to listen to a servant?
I don't know about you, Gwen, but I sure will.
Oh, I know. Humans kind of forget that.
Yes. I believe we should all reach out to our networks that we have built, our connections. Find out what we can find out. If anyone hears of certain apothecaries or such being visited, let me know. Or requests for strange poisons. Because I do not take well to insults.
I mean, the last one that insulted you, I believe we burned their city to the ground again.
Indeed, and I don't wish
Yes.
to burn this one to the ground, but if I find who is doing it, I will end them.
We is a lot of people to throw in the same cart as...
No, I ordered it. I take full responsibility.
Okay, then just making sure.
Are there other matters that need addressed?
I'm too good at the well.
Nothing that truly affects the city.
Hey, do you guys need anything from me?
Here's the bigger picture of these invasions that are happening. But I have it on good authority that the defenses of the city should hold up rather well against interlopers. I haven't heard anything that worries me as of yet. That may change.
It worries me that they are using torture to gain confession. The humans will
easily
say
broken.
anything to end torture.
How are we going to handle them?
I do believe that is Miguel's expertise.
I have made some inroads. Should they arrive, there are one or two that have come to my radar that should a sacrifice be needed, we can point them in that direction.
Excellent.
Does anyone know if they have captured any Canaanites in this crusade?
I have not gotten solid information yet. I do not have as many ties west yet.
I feel that would be bad for all.
She looks at Augustine. Considering our dear father is entrenched in that, you would think it would be better handled.
And that we will be better informed of their movements.
Exactly.
But he is doting on his newly... Can it still be new if she is old already? But our younger sibling is the pride of his eye
He's
right now.
losing focus. Very well. I must see to Shorazina's husband. Right now he is with the king's healer. I do not put a lot of faith in this king's healer. He didn't do squat for the king's confidant. Queen, would you like to accompany me? Perhaps it is something you can recognize.
Oh, I'd love to. Why not?
Thank you.
Of course.
So, Elena, and Gwen now, as she goes by in this age, are heading off to go and check on Sharazina's husband, Augustine, Snatcher, and Miguel. What are you all doing? What are your plans now that you realize something's amiss?
Rat scouting missions. Send them out to see if they can start subtly following some of these contacts in a criminal sense, so that if anything happens to them, they can report back to me quickly.
We're going to start watching
See
some of
who's
your
killing.
some of your more well-known contacts and criminal masterminds.
Snatcher, are they actually dead or just missing?
Storyteller? It just said mysterious deaths on the information you gave.
Mysterious
so.
deaths. I mean, they're not exactly in a profession that has a high survival rate, but it's enough that you've noticed. Mysterious deaths means dead but not robbed is one of the mysterious parts.
Specifically, it is confirmed that they are dead. They're not disappearing. Corpses confirmed, all found dead with their belongings.
How long ago was your rabbi gone missing, Miguel?
It's been 2 fortnights.
Oh, ample time for him to end up dead if we are being targeted. Perhaps we should use our abilities to try and narrow down whether he is still alive or dead.
What about yours, Augustine? Were they also dead?
Storyteller, did my associates end up on the short end of a long pier?
No, from what I had explained to you, all of your attempts to make inroads, both in terms of personal fortune and cultivating the King's Guard,
have just hit dead ends.
Have hit odd dead ends that you don't understand.
Yeah. I don't have the same misfortune of having to worry about bodies. I keep hitting bumps and trespasses and very difficult lanes to try to create openings for myself monetarily and with other associates. I'm fortunate that I have the two that I have added to my retinue, as it were. I think you two have the priority in this situation.
It seems odd that different methods are being used. If it is one person that we're working against us, I would accept to see a pattern. Similar behaviors between us. It's poisoning members of the court versus outright murder of criminals versus blocking of social maneuvers. There's quite a lot to pull off for just one individual.
Too many hands in too many troughs. I see it, yes.
What are the chances that it's a group similar to ours working against us?
At least 3, to be sure.
If not more.
It is no secret of my dislike for Valentino.
I've met a couple that aren't exactly thrilling.
There is one that is a particular thorn in my side, yes. But working together, that does not feel.
So my theory is that either those who have ill will towards us have banded together, or they just happen to coincidentally be making moves all at the same time. Or we fucking pissed off somebody else.
Once it's an accident,
we have no clue.
Twice is a message.
What leads we have are those that we know that we are disliked by, or that we dislike, who's probably run afoul. The collection under the convent, to my knowledge, has no real connections with others within the city.
So your rabbi went missing 2 fortnights ago. Snatcher, when was the last time that you had an issue in the city?
And this is where the player's brain breaks because he can't remember how long a fucking fortnight is.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
A month or two.
So around the
But
same
it's
time.
more sporadic because I've had many more deaths than just 2.
Well, I'm at your service, gentlemen. If you want to go looking for the rabbi, or if you want to go finding out who has targeted you, Snatcher, I think I am at your disposal.
I believe going after a target that we know versus one that we are suspicious of is the better course, so I would suggest we go after the rabbi. Versus trying to find some hidden figure. Believe you me, that's not easy.
You are good at hiding, I will give you that.
There's ways around it.
Valentino of the Blue Bloods has a taste for the clergy. Though I have never caught him in violation of the ordinance that I have put under the religious quarter. That doesn't mean that he has. It just means I haven't caught him.
Clergy in the sense of those who have position within their faith or within Christianity? Do you have any leads on that?
Within their faith. So with the multitude that we have in the city, it isn't so easy. It's just narrowing it down to one.
I am never one to shy away from any verbal sparring with Blue Blood. I am up for meeting this Valentino if you are able to stomach his presence, Brother Miguel.
There's another concern that I've had.
Oh, I only have so many points to my blade, my friend.
Since the fall of Constantinople, I have seen evidence of infernal activity, mortal cults. But still, as I said, if it happens more than once, I may only have 2 coins for each time it happened. It's odd that I have 2 coins for it happening. There may be something more diabolical at play.
We
So
trust
this
you
is-
to know.
It is certainly something to keep an eye out for. My understanding is they target the, let's say, less morally skilled.
Oh. These are your people, Snatcher.
I can start looking around along with my ghouls. They're fairly entrenched by this point now. Except for Krina. She deserves something different.
So then we'll focus on the missing rabbi. And
For
then
now.
from there, we'll move on.
We'll see if it opens up any other avenues for us.
I think
Okay.
I'm also going to have a few of my rats inspect to see if there's any frequency of dealings with poison, smuggling it in, selling it, see if we can start getting more information on that as well.
Now, Snatcher, the last time the three of us were left unobserved by the ladies, we did start the stampede. Let's try not to do that again, yes?
Firstly, it worked, and secondly, I find that we're now more mature.
That's why you say that, but I have seen nothing to prove that point.
Nothing to disprove it either.
You win this round.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
Allow me to live in my delusions.
So you all are going to go set out to investigate the missing priest or rabbi. We're flashing to Elena, Peregrine, Gwen, as you are headed to the healer's part. Do you take the main passageways, or do you decide to come in close through one of the secret passageways through the place?
We are going to utilize secret passageways, but while we are doing this, I am going to call upon a new skill set I have developed.
Okay.
And being that Belgrade is actually still within the Carpathians, I do not have to expend blood.
Okay.
Busted.
So you are going to use...
Called Dunic Sorcery.
Yes.
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft, baby.
Is it hard to build a witch?
Not at all. We're born that way.
It is going to be your occult and perception.
Okay.
By default, it would only be a 100-yard meter radius, but because you have the level 2 in the loci, actually it's still the same, but you can extend it another 100 yards by using it and then stretching it further based on your vision, but that's as far as you can reach for now.
Okay.
So it's going to be your perception and your...
Can I surge perception?
No. Codernic is one of them that can't
surge?
That must be off your base attributes.
Okay.
Oh.
The land knows what you really have.
There are limitations.
Mm-hmm. The land knows.
That is 4 successes.
4 successes. What are you trying to perceive?
I want to perceive if anyone is behaving suspiciously, including servants, kitchen staff, anything, as I am traversing under this fortress.
That is a difficult one in some ways, but not... You'll have to stop for a few minutes to sweep around. Definition of suspicious is a difficult... You do sweep and find Sherazina's husband has been returned to his quarters, but the healer is in their quarters with him now, with Sherazina as well. Because he is the king's cousin, there are several attending servants waiting.
Mm-hmm.
As you sweep around a bit further and further, it is late. The king has retired at this point to his chambers with one of his favorite mistresses this week.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the servants have begun to withdraw from the corridors at this rate due to the hours of the night. They're not expected to be needed as much. The cooks are currently cleaning up the kitchen. You don't see anything suspicious. It's obvious that the king's cousin being ill has not been spread around the castle yet, or the fortress yet, because you don't catch any gossip about it.
Thank you for waiting. I wanted to see if I could perceive anything out of the ordinary.
Not a problem.
But it seems everyone is behaving as they should this evening. So, they are in their private quarters. Follow me.
Of course. Lead the way.
Now, you have a secret door right into the quarters.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually off the sitting room it comes into. Taking that in, as you enter the room, the healer is bent over. He's got a leech that he's currently using, bloodletting, very common for this time. But you can see Sherazina's husband. He's turned a bluish pallor to his skin. The moment you get a look at it, it does remind you of the death of your previous contact, one of the close advisors to the king. It appears to be the same symptoms. A bluing skin, trouble breathing. You know very quickly he's going to degenerate to the point of unable to breathe.
Tell me, healer, is that leech going to allow him to breathe?
He turns and looks. Mistress, I did not know you would be here tonight.
The confidant of the king has died in a manner similar to this. He was unable to catch his breath. Did your leeches help him at all?
No, but this time we've got to it sooner. I'm going to order the rooms opened up so that we can purge the foul air from the room. And then once we get the foul air purged from the room and let some of the sick blood out, I think we'll be able to have him turn around.
I understand, but understand that that did not save the confidant of the king. And I have brought another healer. Please. And she gestures to Gwen.
And Gwen will just go right up and start looking him over, asking for eucalyptus, spearmint, other such herbs to help with breathing and opening up the airflow passageways, getting hot, steamy water so that we can put the herbs and such into it so he can breathe it in.
I will let either one of you can roll. Let's go intelligence occult or perception medicine, or you can also go perception hearth wisdom. Any of those.
Can I do intelligence hearth wisdom?
Sure. Why not?
Thanks. May I surge?
You can always surge those. It isn't called Denic sorcery because, the land knows what your power is. You can't fake them out.
Valid.
A difficulty I'm going to set for 6, of course. It's a matter of margin, really.
I got 5 successes.
5. Okay.
Or zeros. Those are crits. If I get 2.
You have a specialization that applies?
No, I don't. No.
You have an intelligence specialization.
It's
in languages, so it does not apply. So they count as regular successes. But ones cancel out shit.
Right. So I have 6.
6.
I got 2 10s, a 9, and an 8.
For Elena.
2 8s.
You've never seen the like of this before in all your times. It is exactly what killed the courier. Peregrine had 6, though. With 6, Peregrine, there is something familiar about this poison. You've seen it before here. You're not sure where. It's 6, though. You have a suspicion that this particular poison is Assamite in nature.
Does she have a way of at least trying to stop it? No.
You don't remember enough about it.
Okay.
Your clan's not noted for using methods that can be reversed, unfortunately, though.
That's fair. She'll go off of what she knows about at least breathing and whatnot to start a breathing treatment at least.
Yeah, eucalyptics, mint, things to open the passages.
Mm-hmm. And she's asking for steam so they could soak it and take that in as quickly as possible.
And the healer, he looks at you, but you all have been palace regulars Though nobody quite knows your status, they just know that nobody ever stops you from doing anything in the palace. So he sends 2 of the servants off to get boiling water, or hot water, should say, so that they can put it on the fireplace in the room, because this is a fortress. I mean, half the rooms have fireplaces in it, so they can get it boiling for you. And Shirazina looks to Elena. Will he be all right, mistress?
I look to Gwen.
Unknown at the moment, but I have an idea of what it is. I'm going to have to write for more information. My dear cousin in the south.
It is
Family's lost
difficult
a couple
to
of
say
relatives.
right now, Shirazina. We will do all we can.
Thank you, mistress.
Take care of your child. He will be in the best hands.
The wet nurse is feeding child tonight.
I'd suggest not bloodletting him anymore. He still needs it.
The healer looks at you, but this is how we get the bad blood out.
Oh, yes, and killing him too at the same time. Because if you get all the blood out, how do you know if it's good or bad?
Well, can't you see how dark it looks?
Of course.
That's
When you
bad
put
blood.
oxygen.
It's dark from the
Yes,
the
and
foul
what will
humors.
he do when he runs out?
She kind of goes through her notebook like, can you read Latin?
No, milady.
Huh. She'll pull out a book.
You mistake me for a priest.
Well, I guess you're going to have to learn from me now, aren't you? Because I can read Latin, and I know what this book says. And they really don't talk much about bad blood, but blood. If you want the man to die, then continue with the leeching. But I can see that the madame is not exactly going to be happy if you kill him.
It's clear that you've decided to take hand in his treatment, and that is fine. I will see myself out, and his fate is on your hands, not mine.
Understood.
And he grabs
no.
his jar that had some leeches in it, picks it up, and picks up several sticks of incense. A lot of dubious treatments as he storms from the room.
She will actually go and feel his forehead and take his pulse.
His pulse is weak and erratic. His breathing ragged. His forehead is cold compared to what it should be.
Elena looks around the room at the various servants and says, if you are not my closest friends, leave the room now.
Yes, mistress, we will step out. We will let you know when the water is brought.
Thank you. Knock first.
Yes, mistress.
Elena bites her wrist and drips blood into his mouth.
When you
We're
do
going to have
that,
him sit up at least.
he's not really awake, so at first, it just dribbles down in him. And then his eyes shoot open, and he gasps louder and begins to convulse.
Shit. And she stops. The fuck is this, Gwen?
From what I gathered, it's an asimite poison, and I can assure you I have not touched your people. I don't know what it is yet. I'll write as soon as I can. I'll write it as soon as we're done here. Find out what the hell is going on.
I can handle the
Roger.
herbs and the steam. You go right. Find out why they're killing my people.
I don't know why. I haven't gotten any orders whatsoever. Except my normal orders. That's it.
I understand. I know you don't, but find out.
I will find out. I'm going to help you with this at least. A note is not going to be answered in 10 minutes.
I understand, but the sooner you get it done, the sooner you get a response.
No problem. This is your people, and you know I'm here to help. Find this out together, and then we'll get this.
I
know
need this
we don't-
guy alive.
I understand. If you can ghoul him,
I can't.
can at least-
He drinks my blood and it makes him worse. You saw what he did. He convulsed.
He's still convulsing.
Yeah. So if they have our blood in them, it kills them faster.
yeah, Scorpion's touch wish. You know something that is coming close to that?
That's an interesting observation. It's definitely a blood-borne poison. It could be a derivative or based from it. Its reaction to adding kindred blood to the mix. Based on your earlier successes, I will give you, this poison is meant to ensure you can't ghoul the victim.
So don't give him any more blood. This is going to kill him.
I won't. I could tell
will
that.
I have a way of doing things with my blood for poison to kill people, but I don't do it on anything.
I know
that's
you
gonna-
don't. I know you haven't done this, Gwen.
No, I know, but I'm trying to figure out who would do this against us when I'm already here and I have orders. That's what's upsetting.
I understand. There's someone either within your ranks or with your skills.
Give me a second. Let me see if I can do something. And she's going to just go to the window, open up the window and look out and use the emergency contact.
So you pull, it's a stone that appears to have blood in it. It's actually a bit fragile because when you break it, it's not even 30 seconds later when you hear a voice echo in your head, one that you've heard many times. You have asked for contact. Contact is established. Say what you wish. You can call me Vizier Afad.
Thank you, Vizier Arfad. I appreciate your quick answer. We have human subjects that are being poisoned, and if we give them blood to cool them, to cure them, they die. I realize this is part of our poisons, but I am not aware of this, and I am here and there killing part of my people's contacts. How do we stop this, or what is going on that I am not aware of?
There is no way to stop it once it is administered.
How is it administered? Do you know?
Normally, through wine. I do not know why it was used. We have not had contact with any. Though I can tell you, there is one in your region who has it. It was given to him as part of his mission. But he is not located where you are. He is located in the city of Sofia.
This is not the first. This is a second contact that we have had that is
Within
is
a
dying.
month. Within. Yes.
You can't hear what she's saying.
Okay.
It's all in her head.
It's all in her head.
Mm-hmm.
When it's when Elena says that again, Gwen will repeat that in her head to the vizier.
We will reach out to the one who is watching Basilio the Elder and see what has come of what he brought with him there.
Any way to slow the dying process? Any way to do something to say either prolong his death so that we can do what we need, or put a stop to it? He might not be cured,
It is
but at least stop it.
a tricky method of death. Once administered, it takes time to take effect, but the more wine they drink, it interacts with the wine, you see.
It goes into the bloodstream.
And then, if you attempt to give them the gift from our kind, they last less than a day. It was designed to eliminate support. We use it to peel away protectors of a target. I do not know why you are targeted. I will ask the other viziers, and I will bring it up with the council.
May I ask at least what the ingredients are? I will not wish to make this, so that we can stop any sale of this, or at least trace them to the people that are putting this together.
It is solely done through our blood, changed by our sorcery. It has only been created here in Alamut.
So then there is a sorcerer distributing this.
As I said, we sent one with some of it in case he needed it for his particular mission.
Who's to say he hasn't sold it?
I will inform the council, and I am sure they will be asking questions.
And
This
I
was
get at
not
least-
supposed to be known widely that we have developed this.
What may I tell my friends? That was the coterie that I am a part of. They will want answers.
Give them answers. It is a poison. And as far as you know, I should have stayed in Sophia. It was to be used against Basilio the Elder, and not you.
I thank you for your time, Vizier. If there is a way to get another stone in case emergency contact, I would greatly appreciate it to update my status.
We will send a new calling stone on the next ship.
Appreciate it. I will watch.
And you feel the contact break off in your head.
And she just slams her fist into the window. Just pissed off. She'll swear in Irish for a moment. I have answers. You're not going to like them. I'm going to first apologize, even though I don't have to. I believe this is an apology that is due to you. Apparently, our sorcerers have created a poison that they mix in with the wine. The more wine they drink, the more they become filled with it. The moment that we give our blood to them, they die. This was only supposed to be used by one person in Sophia for Basilio the Elder. And he is the only one who has it. I do not know the thaumaturgy of the sorcerers. And he says that it's only made in Alamut. There is no other place to make it.
Storyteller, what do I know from my Revenant connections about Bulgaria?
I'm going to actually have you, this is more than that. This is going to be trying to think of where I'd have you roll. Because this is a tough information. You might actually know it. I know this sounds weird and bear with me. Intelligence leadership. I know this sounds weird.
Not wits? Can
Nope.
it be wits?
Nope, intelligence leadership for this.
I'd give you my intelligence if I could.
You want to surge for that?
Nah, she's not a fan of soda.
I got 4.
4. That's not bad at all. Not bad. That name, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Basilio the Elder is the Prince of Sophia and is also of Clan La Sombra. His sire, Erasimo Casimiro Alonso de Curico, has beef with your sire.
She swears in her native tongue.
Now, as far as you're aware, he's still in Sophia. But given our history that went on with the fall of Constantinople, there's a lot of power shifts going on at the moment that are still occurring. A lot of places that were safe aren't. A lot of places that weren't safe are now. So you don't know what the political situation is up that far.
That is the Prince of Sophia, La Sombra. His sire does not like my sire very much.
Oh, this isn't good. The viziers are not going to be holding a meeting and contacting the suitor that they had put in Sophia to find out what the hell. They'll send me another contact zone, so as soon as they find out, they can contact me.
How long does he have?
She'll walk over and look at him, take his pulse again.
Oh, you were told. She gave him blood.
Mm-hmm.
He will die before a day is out.
He has less than a day. He has a child with your lady, yes? I know it's just one, but they still have a child, eh?
Yes.
We're going to have to guard that child like a hawk.
Oh, do not worry. Sherazina and her child will now stay with me.
Oh, absolutely. But I'd purge all the wine.
I am going to the wine right now, and we are going to bust all the casks.
That's fine. And then I suggest we purge everything else, being that this poison can only be made in Alamut. I have a feeling that's why people were dying with Snatcher. Possibly.
Or they are trafficking it.
Mm-hmm.
And they are loose ends.
If these people have any family or connections, they're next too.
Exactly. All right.
I can start walking. I can walk the city if you want and start listening.
You can, please. I'm going to handle the casks. I'm going to tell Sherazina to spend what time she has with her husband to say goodbye.
Now, you're aware, Elena, there's no love between Sherazina and her husband.
I know.
She is
But she has to put up pretenses.
and a revenant.
She has to put up pretenses.
Yes.
She has to be the grieving widow. Elena knows that. She had to play that part once herself. Find out what you can. I will try to mitigate what damage I can and rebuild my fucking efforts in this fucking fortress. Bastards.
Anything I can do to help. I'm sorry.
That little shit in Sophia wants to fight. It'll be the next city I put to the torch.
Would you like me to tell your brother that you need him
No,
to plan things out?
no, it is fine. I will go take my frustrations out on some wine casks.
I'm going to start telling my people to get some tea. I think tea's going to be kind of popular, as well as possibly beer.
Beer would be excellent. Good ale.
Hi.
Mead.
And some mead.
Mead.
Haven't had a good thing of mead
Mead.
in a while. Good hearty mead.
So Elena's setting off to the. Oh, this is going to make the king very happy when he finds out that someone broke the
She'll
wine cask.
dominate him. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think she cares. But
She'll dominate him. It'll be fine.
I'm going to point out, and
She is wearing red this evening, so it goes well with wine.
for the sake of things you would realize, if the wine itself, all of it was poisoned, you'd have more than one person,
Mm-hmm.
a cupbearer somewhere.
Yeah, that's when she's going to dominate the king and tell him to present the cupbearers that have served his confidant and his cousin.
That will come to at a later point. So Elena's heading down to take her frustrations out.
On some wine barrels. Mm-hmm.
Gwen, where are you going? You're going to go and start, warning your people don't drink tea or don't drink wine?
She's going to tell her people to avoid wine, start picking herbs in first morning light, and she'll actually contact her Shadow Lord contact to see if he can assist to make sure her people are safe in picking herbs and such, and start getting other people to make some ale and mead as quickly as possible.
Okay. So we're going to go to break in a little bit. Not quite yet. Augustine, Snatcher, and Miguel, did you have a plan for how you're going to search for the missing rabbi?
Figure we go to his house and pick up the trail.
Initially, I also would have, once I knew where his house was, or if we learned where he was last seen, I would have the rats start a perimeter and then search out from there.
Yeah, that works.
Beyond that, I didn't have much of a plan.
As you set off into the city, you're not far from. You have exits to get out of the fortress area that are not going through the fortress gate. This is a Zelios designed fortress, so you have lots of ways to get wherever you need in the city. But as you come out onto the street, it is not even but a fraction of time before a bird settles on Miguel's shoulder.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. How you been?
Information for information, right? Right? What do you got for me? I got something for you, and it's good. You're going to like it.
It is. Oh. Well, just before I get into the storytelling, I do have a question I wanted to ask about the missing rabbi.
Yes.
I imagine that with Miguel's newly acquired ability to read the soul, he would have verified the rabbi a little bit.
The rabbi was mortal 100%. And believed what he said from everything you saw.
But so he was had that kind of holy radiance.
Mm-hmm. He didn't have what would be called true faith by many of your people, or God's light, right, or however you want to call it, though you could see the undercurrent of it. There was a possibility he would reach that point. That's why you enjoyed talking with him.
Clear conscious, signs of compassion.
Yep.
Generous, happy, those types. Okay. So yes, what information would you be interested in?
I don't know, something juicy, something good, something. Let me see. Wait, I got to think about this. I'm not very good at this part. I just want information. Ooh. Wait. Actually, I've got a good idea. I've learned this thing, barter. Can I have his ring? And the wing kind of points at Augustine. I'll trade information for shiny. He's pointing to a ring on your finger, Augustine. You don't understand him, but
No,
is that
no.
ring of any significant value to you?
The one on my pinky is not. No. Why?
Would you be willing to trade it for some information from our friend here?
To a bird.
Yes.
Miguel, I know that you and Snatcher are gifted in ways that I am not, and that you both have ways with animals. Are you saying that this animal, this wild creature who roams the world on the skies above us, wants the ring on my pinky for information? This is what you're
Yes.
trying to tell me, yes? That this
In
is...
basic sense.
No, that's it. There's not much more depth to it.
No.
He states that he has information and he would like to barter for it.
And the last time we garnered information from this one was when we were building a fortress.
Santa Madre. You know,
If it's not in any sentimental value, I'm sure if it is information not up to your liking, I can find a way to find one of equal value to replace it.
no, it is
If you
fine.
want, I could get you a few for free.
Where do you think I got this one from, Snatcher? And I take the ring off and put it in Miguel's hand.
and the bird goes to grab it. He grabs it in his beak. And then he tries to talk to you, Miguel, and it falls out, and he looks at it again. And you can see the bird cock his head a second. He finally
Miguel
gets one of
catches it
his
as it
claws to
falls.
grab it. It takes him a minute to realize you can't talk and hold it at the same time. But once he gets it in his claw, he looks at you. You asked to watch for the red shirt ones, the red. And he kind of fluffs his wings. Red robes.
Red robes, yes.
One came in through the gate after dark with hard metal guards. Hard metal is what he calls their armored suits. The gates were closed, but they got him to open them. And they've set through the city heading to the big building with the crucifix on top.
The building in my quarter?
Yes, the big one.
Big one that I often meet you at, yes. Well, that is... I don't know what to expect. Company, I guess. Sister Luminita is trained and prepared for this sort of situation. She's much better with meeting guests than I am.
I figured it's good information because guards don't let people through after dark.
You are correct. They typically don't. That is note. Can you describe any of these? Let me take this a step back a moment. Did any of them smell, as I or my colleagues do, of the nature of our kind?
You mean smell like you're dead?
I was hoping to put it in more tasteful words, but yes.
I've never got the hang of this lying thing. If you smell dead, you smell dead. Either you smell dead or not dead. No, I didn't get close enough to really check, but I did not see they were dead.
How many of the metal guards did you see? Did you get a number?
And you see the bird cock his head, and he's like he's counting to himself. 39. No, not that number. 9.
Storyteller, they're like mimicking bird noises.
Yeah, you're just hearing
Yeah, we're both
raven
calling
calls at
him.
each
You're
other.
hearing
yeah.
caws.
Yeah, it was fine when it was just Miguel, but now that Snatcher has invested himself in the situation, I'm gonna take a step back and just cross my arms.
Miguel will be making like hand gestures at the time. So he'll occasionally, like when the man in the red robe and the men with the armor were mentioned, he would put a little cross, pointing to, and looking or in the direction of Augustine. He would have held up 9 fingers. It's not a very. It is the bare bones basic of just minimal hand signs.
Yeah, like I'm used to one of you doing it at a time. Now that you guys are having like a conference call, though, now it's when okay, this is ridiculous.
Would you perhaps do me a favor, Bonefeather?
I always have such good stories to tell. Of course.
If you wouldn't mind going and keeping an eye on them until I'm able to arrive.
If that works, I can fly in to the top where the bell is. Yes, I can do that. Yes. I have to drop off my shiny first.
Of course. And I will see you there.
And the bird takes off. And before we go to break, I will let Miguel and Snatcher inform Augustine of what just transpired.
Thank you. I would appreciate that.
Either the Inquisition arrived in our city and got through the guards during night, or there is a Canite in similar attire traveling with knights that has forced their way past the guards' mental facilities to gain access to the city.
Shite.
And we'll have to check with the Kingsguard that I have associated myself with, so we can verify that relatively easily.
Whatever the case, I figure one of us should handle it, should at least go and see what the situation is. I figure with my connection that it might be appropriate for me to be the one.
Would you rather go down this avenue instead of finding your rabbi friend then?
If what we have heard from the Inquisition is true, and this is the Inquisition, it may be a bigger issue than a missing rabbi. If it is someone else who has come to our city without properly presenting themselves, the commandments of Cain demand that be dealt with. We can't put our personal search on hold, or can't put our show for the rest of the Canaanites in the city, and let them see these things passing without repercussion.
No.
Then they would know something was up.
Here I was prepared to go out of the city. It looks like we're going to be staying in today, boys.
And I do still have my rats looking for the rabbi. They're not as efficient as thinking creatures, but enough of them, and they're spread out.
They're
There's a
unlikely
chance
to,
they find something.
they're also unlikely to set off anyone's alarms to let them know that we're looking.
And they know once they learn any information that seems interesting, they immediately come and find me.
Perfect. All right, to the King's Guard then, my friends, and I will introduce you to Daniori.
Right here, I think, everybody. This is where we're going to go to break, the first break of season 2. We'll see everybody in 10 minutes. Enjoy the break, everyone. Welcome back, everybody. Before the break, I'm trying to put this to words. Before the break, a long series of coincidences has come to a head to where this group of Canaanites do not believe it is a coincidence anymore, especially considering the poison being used is of Assamite origin from the town of Sophia. It's where the vizier says...
Change our view.
I didn't change the view, so now, people get to see a little peek here as I switch to the camera view. There you go.
Tried telling you in Zoom, but you weren't reading it.
Yeah, I was busy monologuing. Let me finish my monologue. Thank you. Thankfully,
let him be his villain.
Yeah, thankfully Gwen managed to get some info that at least makes the coterie not think she's behind it. The poor Assamite in the group. The rest of the Canaanites went out to, we're going to go look for the rabbi, but they ran into their friend, Longwing, who in exchange for a bit of shiny revealed that a member of the Inquisition has entered their city and gone straight to the cathedral where Miguel spends quite a bit of his time. That's where we went to break. So as we're opening up this half, Elena, you went down to the wine cellar.
Yes, I brought servants with me to actually taste the wine because I decided after speaking with Sherazina that the most efficient course would be to check to see if the wine casks are actually poisoned. And if they are not, then I need to round up serving boys. So I have gathered some cups and put a drop of my blood in each cup, and having servants put a bit of wine from each cask in the cups and drink.
They drink. Doesn't seem to negatively affect them at all. They do look at you strangely about having them taste the king's wine, but you've been a fixture at this place for quite a while. The rumors about you are slanderous lies, of course.
Understand I am doing this to protect our king. There have been 2 poisonings within the month, and I believe it is tied to wine. But as you have tasted the casks now and survived, with no ill effects, because trust me, they would have been nearly instant, it is not the casks. There will be no word of this until I have concluded my investigation. Do you understand?
And the servants who aren't even looking you in the eye, because they're servants, they don't look you in the eye. They all give bows and curtsies because you've got a mix of
Men and women.
Men and women. Some are the house staff, some are
Yeah, I picked them from different
footmen.
areas.
Yep.
I appreciate your service. This evening you may return to your chambers.
and they scurry out of the room.
Now she's going to go and wake every fucking serving.
Are you going to awake him, or are you going to get the master of servants?
I will have the master of servants wake them and send them to me immediately.
The master of servants does not seem happy. But again, there are slanderous rumors about what happens to people who cross you in this particular fortress. And even the king seems to not go against your wishes.
Understand, I'm trying to protect our king.
So he runs forth.
Good.
And we're going to come back to you because it takes time to gather those.
Of course it does.
Gwen, Peregrine, you've set off to inform your people. Do you have anything else to do, or are you just basically letting your people know about the wine and checking in with your people?
Well, she's going to check in with her people, and then she's going to actually walk the city and listen with heightened senses to hear what's going on in the city and what's happening. If there's any kind of clue as to who's to say, people think that closed doors and candles that are, not lit makes it a safe place because nobody else would be outside, right?
Okay. We'll take a note of that because it takes time to circulate. Now we're popping over. Augustine, who all did you bring with you to go speak with the King's Guard?
Just the three of us.
Just the three, just making sure.
Did you want to bring any rats with you?
I don't need to worry about bringing them. There's enough rats in the city. I can probably just call out and some will show up.
You're right.
But I will take the time to go unseen.
And it just so happens tonight, he's on the gate. It takes you a minute to find it out. You have to ask. And when you approach, he's there in his chain halberd, just leaning against the gate with it closed. It's not a lot to do once the gate's closed. They just kind of lean there half the night and wait for their shift. But as you approach, Don Augustine, good to see you.
Daniori, it is good to see you as well. Do you know my friend, Brother Miguel, from the religious quarter?
I've seen him around, of course. I've seen him in the palace a few times. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too. You are getting an easy job tonight, looks like.
It's boring.
Oh.
I'd much rather be on the patrol tonight. When you get to patrol the streets. The ones who patrol the streets get to line their pockets a little quicker than I do.
Ah, I understand now. What is going on the streets that you have heard, my friend?
I'm not sure what you're talking about on this one. It's the normal things, complaints from the commoners, extra taxes. I'm still worried about Mongol horde.
They are a ways away. And we have you at the wall, my friend. You're worth at least 3 of them.
Yeah, the walls, as long as they don't try to siege us, we'll be okay. And you've helped us a bit. You and some of your other friends have helped us with stockpiling enough that as long as we're willing to not feed the commoners as much, the soldiers can hold the walls well enough. Plus, the Mongols haven't done a good job at stopping our ships from the port. So we'll always be able to land enough food if we have to.
I hear that they are not good swimmers, Daniori, but that's just between you and me.
And other than that, we did have a priest come through earlier.
That is what I heard. My associate, Brother Miguel, has the good authority that someone was let in recently with some knights. Is this true? Do you know anything about it?
He is he's a holy bishop. Sent here. Yes, sent here on papal visit and papal authority. And well, let's be fair, they don't have that much sway here. It's easier just to not argue with them and to cause trouble, because as soon as you give one trouble, and then you have two, and then you have four, and then the next thing you know, we become Constantinople with a crusade coming through and looting the place.
That is the last thing we want, my friend.
Yes. So I did the normal, shook him down a little bit, and then we let him through.
Do you happen to know where he
charged
might
him
be?
the levy.
Of course, good man. Do you happen to know where he might be? The Brother Miguel and I need to ask him some questions about the faith, of course.
Let me go check my book. He goes over and pulls up the logbook. Yes, he was going to the chapel in the religious district.
Brother Miguel, did he ever make it to the chapel in the religious district? This bishop?
If he has, it is after I had left for the evening to attend to the matters. Now, what was this name?
He gave me Bishop Alessandro. That's all he gave me. He wouldn't give me anything else. He did have a silly ass title. I didn't write it down. It was it? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, bishop is enough.
It was a holy sacrosanct of something about information or something. I don't know.
Is this familiar sect with you, Brother Miguel?
Storyteller, is that
really? I mean,
he didn't get enough information for me to use anything good?
No. He was wearing that red robe that they wear. His soldiers all had the emblazoned cross on their tabards. You don't think he could be one of them Inquisitors we heard about?
This far to the east, my friend?
I know, I haven't heard any making it this far yet.
Do you have sins to repent for, Daniori? Is this what you're afraid of?
Oh, I've always got sins. That's the purpose, isn't it? If you don't have sins,
you can't repent.
That's right.
You do not make it to chapel enough.
I'm sorry, Brother Miguel. My duties keep me away from that. I will try to be better about that. And when his eyes cut to Augustine, you know he's full of shit.
God is where you make it out to be,
but,
my friend.
In all respect, would you like me to make a donation?
That would be amenable if you truly are repentant for your dereliction of your faith.
Look at his face. How could you not see the dereliction on it whatsoever?
And he pulls out a bag that's in his pocket. It's just a small coin purse. He pulls 3 coins out of it. And then he hands you the bag. Of course I'm repentant. That is the bishop's money. And he grins again.
And I'm going to grab him. I'm just going to clap him on the shoulder and just be like, my friend, you have kept one for the Son, you have kept one for the Father, you have kept one for the Holy Spirit. What more could you ask for? You are repenting as it is already.
And he
Please.
mutters to you, more like, the captain. Sergeant at arms. And one for that guy.
We know the code.
Everyone wants their cut around here, it seems.
Speaking of cut, this knife looks dull, my friend. Take it to my associate, and I'll give him the name of the blacksmith. Let her know that I am willing to compensate you for a new one.
Are you sure? Because something about her just...
She is a strange one, yes, but she is good with the hammer.
Yes, I just feel like someone's walking over my grave every time I go near her.
Small prices.
Okay, I'll do that. Are you gonna come out to the training yard next week?
If not me, for sure, I will send Mario to test you all out.
Oh, don't send Mario. He don't even remotely try to take it easy on us.
If he did, you all will get soft, and the horde will take over with no hesitation.
Yes, but at least you're gracious about it. He just plays with us half the time.
Wow. I will have a talk with him.
Oh, don't tell him I said that.
No, please. Clearly, it was the sergeant at arms that said this.
Yeah. That son of a motherless goat. Go ahead, say it was him.
And I just kind of pat him with the back of my hand on his stomach. Back to work then. We have a bishop to find.
Oh, yes. Move along. No staying at the gate.
No staying at the gate. Come on, Brother Miguel, let us find this bishop of the holy sanctimonious knowledge-finding cult.
At least we know where to look. Storyteller, does the description that was provided of the symbols the knights were wearing match either the Teutonic Knights or what we've heard of the Inquisition?
They match. Well, there's two different groups. Teutonic Knights were known to wear it. There's another group who have not been dissolved yet. The Knights of the Temple Mount, or as everyone calls them, the Templars. Actually, it's the Holy Order of the Temple of Mount Solomon, but everyone called them Templars. Those are the two that wore the emblazoned cross in this era.
And the description that he gives is not enough to determine between the two?
No.
No. The city's full of assholes now.
And the city's been full of assholes. Anyways, yes, we will head to the chapel.
Yep. We're going to flash back to Elena. As the master of servants comes back, he brings back a number of young boys. All the cupbearers are young boys.
Yes.
Mistress, I'm sorry to inform you. One of our cupbearers I could not bring.
For what reason?
It seems a cupbearer back has hung himself in the servants' quarters.
Was his quarters searched?
No, ma'am, my servants do this all the time, you see. But I just found out we found the body tonight.
She looks among the boys. Any of you know why Buck would do this?
And none of them will look at you, but they're... No, milady, no.
Are you certain?
Yes, milady. If you would like, milady, I can take you to the servants' quarters. I know I'm asking a lot for a lady of your high status, too.
I will go, but she tells guards that are in the hall, where they are, the gathering hall, watch these children, make sure none of them leave. And she goes with the master.
You head to the servants' quarters. And when you go into the servants' quarters, all the cupbearers share one quarter. It's easier that way when they can go to one place.
It's barracks, yes.
Yes. Hanging from the rafters of the room, they didn't even cut him down yet. I mean, he's just a servant boy. Nobody seems to care.
I immediately go to pat him down.
You find 1 gold coin tucked into the rope that had tied his pants up, and another gold coin on the other side. So one on his left side, one on the right side, tucked behind the belt. 2 gold coins. The coins... I'll let you roll to see if you recognize them. This is going to be... I'm not going to say etiquette. It's a history kind of a thing. So... I will let you actually...
Seneschal?
Yeah, you can use Seneschal.
Thank you.
I had another one you might be able to use, too.
What's that?
Theology, of all things.
I will do that. Five successes.
They are 2 old gold coins from just before the Roman Empire became the Holy Roman Empire. They're old enough that the faces have worn off them at this point. But the coins are Roman for sure. And not from after the change.
She takes out the coins and looks at the master. Now tell me, how would your serving boys get their hands on 2 antique gold coins?
The cur must have been stealing them, mistress. I guess he's done us a favor by killing himself.
Perhaps. She's going to investigate under his bedding and everywhere around where he might have kept anything personal.
I'm not going to make you roll this one. The bedding is just straw mattresses.
Yeah.
They don't get real mattresses.
No, but they could hide stuff in them.
Mrs., you don't have to do that. These are the servant. And he stops. And as you're digging through, you avoid most of the lice. Thankfully, you're kindred.
They don't even faze me.
They don't bother kindred. They have nothing to drink. You do find it's a small vial of some type, or maybe actually a better way to describe it is a small inkwell, very tiny inkwell. Made of clay.
I'm going to take the cork out, the stopper, and smell.
There's a faint, a grapey scent to it, of wineish. It's a fermented smell.
Is it also a blood smell?
You'd have to taste it. How bold are you?
I'll seal it up for now.
Okay.
I might taste it
Mistress,
later.
I don't know where he got that.
Of course you don't. And she's going to keep investigating to see if there's anything else.
You search through the rest of the place. You check the other beddings too? You don't find any other beddings, but see, you got wits, alertness. You've got and a specialty is in cunning. You do, as you search the place, you don't find anything else in the bedding. But I'm not going to make you roll. I'm just going based on your skill levels here.
Mm-hmm.
One of the stones in the fireplace in this room looks slightly out of place. It looks...
Oh, I'm going to dislodge that.
Yeah, it was not pushed all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
It comes out, and you find 2 vials in it. Clay ink wells, I'll say. One is empty. The other one is not.
She takes both out. I seem to find where he got it from. And she puts it back.
Mistress, I beg your pardon on this. I do not know where this came from. This is new to me.
I'm going to suss to see if he's lying to me.
Okay, go ahead. That you do have to roll for that one. It's going to be a subterfuge. No, it's a
manipulation.
Manipulation, and we're going to go expressions writing, but let's to not slow it down. Let's go manipulation subterfuge. You're going the other half of lying.
And I do have persuasion, so I'm going to look at him. Now tell me the honest truth. Okay. Swear to God.
Go ahead. I need to set the difficulties higher than 6 for this crew.
That's 6, because I got a crit.
See, I gotta start setting higher difficulties for this crew.
Hey, you gotta curve the grading sheet, okay? You can't just let one person dictate.
One person who's getting all the high rolls. That's not.
He's a commoner, so I'm not
spread around.
Penalize you. He seems to be telling the truth, and from what you know of him, he is the master of servants as his father was, and his grandfather was. He's not the type who would be willing to risk his position or his family's position, because he's already had his son begin training to take over for him.
Good.
Nepotism at its best in them dark ages.
All right. Then I shall see if any of the boys seem to recognize these bottles. Thank you, master. And she leaves with the bottles and takes them out to the boys and looks for any flash of recognition as she passes it in front of their eyes.
None of them. One of them seems to shuffle a bit when it passes in front of him.
I pick him out of the group. The rest of you may go back to bed.
And the master of servants just nods at him and they scurry out.
She is going to get down on her knees so she is eye level with this young man. Look him dead in his eyes. And she's going to dominate him to tell her everything he knows about this.
Okay, now, you're going to use command or is it subjugation? It's more of a command. No, that's 1. So you have to use subjugation.
Yes, I will use subjugation.
Manipulation plus success, plus leadership. Trying to see if it takes a blood. It actually does not say it uses blood. So welcome to V20 where half your shit's not even going to use blood.
And I will spend a willpower for a success.
Okay.
That is 7.
Okay. So you're going to tell him to say what he knows. First, he starts off with silly trivia almost. It's made of clay, looks like a wine stopper. Because remember, they take these commands are literal.
I understand.
But since you said everything, he randles a bit. But there's one thing that jumps out. He mentions he saw Zavita with one of those. I believe it would have been, let me double check my timeline here because I got to double check my timeline. I scroll through my timeline list. So many timelines to deal with here. There we go. Last month.
Was that the one that hung himself?
No, Bach hung himself.
Okay, who is Zavita?
You asked the
Mm-hmm.
the master. Zavita was a cupbearer, mistress. He ran away last month.
Convenient.
He disappeared. Well, we assume he ran away shortly before the incident.
Yes. Convenient. So he poisoned the king's confidant. And Bok poisoned the king's cousin.
Mistress, I'm going to beg your leave. I'm going to go turn out the servants' quarters tonight, looking for more of those. If we have poisoners on hand, mistress, it is my duty to the king.
Indeed it is.
By your leave, mistress.
Of course. Young man, and she looks at the boy she's just dominated and said, "What is your name?"
Mistress, they call me boy most of the time, but I am Citizar.
Citizar, you have potential. Stay safe, be wise and smart, and when you get a bit bigger, I may have work for you.
Thank you, mistress. It is an honor.
Thank you for your honesty. It goes far. And she gets up off her knees and says, "You may return to your quarters."
And he heads out. Now, Peregrine, you've been walking the streets, using your heightened senses to try to hear what's going on. Now, this is the Dark Ages. Not many people walk the streets after dark, but there's some. There's always some ladies of the night. There are cut purses that have learned a long time ago not to go near Peregrine as she's walking the streets. There's a number of inns, taverns about the place. One of the things you catch is there is a lot of talk of the red-robed priest. That attracts attention. Rumors are spreading quick. There's, let me roll a second. Heightened senses. You did overhear, you know they're cut purses. Though they avoid you, you could hear them whispering in the alley until they saw you and stopped whispering. Something about, they heard that a boat landed downriver a few nights ago. And the boss was hoping for his cut. Doesn't mean it's related to anything going on, but it's just rumors you've heard. Now you've heard them. You don't deal with a lot of the smugglers. You deal with more of the honest, legitimate merchants, but you know who deals with a lot of the smugglers around there.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely give that to Snatcher, absolutely.
So, you're finishing your rounds. I'm going to flash down to Augustine, Snatcher, and Miguel as you've entered. You've gone into the religious quarter. The religious quarter is pretty dead at night. Bad joke, I know. But it's not an area there's a lot of activity after dark. And you're heading to the chapel where you've heard that this priest is gone, or this bishop?
100%.
I will point out that Brother Miguel does have heightened senses on.
Okay.
Is Snatcher still invisible?
Even if I had to drop it due to scene change, I just re-upped it.
Okay. Can we establish that you hold on to like my shoulder then? Just so that I know that you're always there.
Because of the nature of obfuscate, though, if you know he's there, because it's basically fooling your mind and not seeing him, if you know he's there, you still see him. That is how that works.
Yeah, I would have like kept contact with both of you so that you constantly saw me, so you didn't have to worry about.
Right, he doesn't have to hold as long as he stays in front of you or where you can see him. The moment you lose sight of him, he has to reestablish he's there. But as long as you can see him, your mind isn't fooled. He's not high enough to convince your mind after seeing him.
That's some fancy shit that V20 has.
That's my take on it, obfuscate, because it's kind of silly that it would break for everybody if one person saw you.
Yeah.
Not how that would work.
Yeah. Okay, that works then. We don't have to come up with like...
Yeah, this isn't invisibility. This is just fooling your mind.
Chameleon circuit. Gotcha.
Forget me not.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, as you approach the chapel, Longwing immediately flies down. He's in there.
Very good.
And he takes off again. Perches right back up on the top of the building, seems to be looking down. You see him fly into where the bell is. He seems to be looking down like he's trying to see what's going on inside and spy from up there.
Either our feathered friend finds them very interesting, or he's a bit overzealous in his tasks.
Well, let's go find out how interesting this bishop is then, and I will make my way inside.
What precautions are you all taking entering the chapel? Now, remember, this is an old style, so once you go through the doors, it's one big open mass area.
I would have made sure that Johann is available.
But are you just walking in the front main door, the chapel doors?
I'll summon up one tentacle that I keep in my shadow. But otherwise, I got my sword on my belt.
Is there an equivalent of Blush of Life?
I think there is. I think it happens when you just rouse anything, just about. I'm checking something here. I've got to make a roll.
I am going to take efforts to make myself look more lifelike.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so those.
And that's a roll in this, right? Not just straight blood pool spend.
I think it's just a rouse roll for it.
Right.
Yep. We'll go with that because, we got to keep it moving.
I passed.
And I would have whispered to both of you staying by the entrance so that they can't cut us off.
Good.
So I'm inside with them, but I'm by the door in case I try to put a bar over it or something to try and keep them out or whatever.
As the religious figure, religious peering figure, I would have entered first. And
as you're approaching, you catch sight of him. He seems to be talking with, what was your sister's name? I've got to remember the names again.
Sister Luminita is his Gould's nun.
Sister Luminita, he's talking. Augustine and Snatcher. The moment you see him, you're having trouble walking closer to him.
I am going to do we'll call it a vibe check. We're going to read the soul on this guy.
Okay. For that Augustine and Snatcher, as soon as you catch sight of him, you don't want to get any closer. You can feel it's almost a pressure, a weight pushing against you.
All right. Well, I know where my vibe check is.
Do my
So
best to not puke up Vitae.
I got 3 successes on reading the soul.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. I need to make sure I
And
read what we got going against it.
distinguish shade, main color, and color patterns.
How many successes you get?
3. So 1 success is can distinguish between only the shade, pale or bright. 2 successes is distinguish the main color, and then 3 successes would recognize color patterns.
Okay, I'm double checking something right here. You go to read it. You had how many successes again?
3.
Something is pushing against you.
Point out if it's what I think it is. It doesn't affect aspects.
It actually lowers any successes rolled against them. But in this case, it's not enough to stop.
Directly affect. So this is a passive viewing. So
Pulling
it's
up
not.
so I can read the colors, because I got to get the colors from this one. Because I use my own colors, but I want to stick with what it uses in this rules. Let's see, the main color. Purple. Tinged with it's kind of a brightish purple, tinged with, there's flecks of green, of a light green in it.
Light green. Lovely.
Now, you can feel the weight pushing against you, Miguel, but you're not having any trouble pushing past it. Your willpower is much higher than theirs. Theirs, on the other hand, you really don't want to step forward.
Thank you for reminding me what I need to bring up next.
You're afraid that if they turn their attention to you, you would probably run in fear. You've felt this before, Augustine. Your sire is capable of making you feel this way. Now, he hasn't noticed you yet. I'm going to give you a chance to decide what you're doing. He's a bit distracted at the moment.
The knights are with him, and do they also have similar vibe check abilities?
You don't feel it coming off the rest of them. His guards are scattered about the room, but most of them seem to be paying attention to what he is saying.
I am walking right up to him, and as I get close, what did the guard say his name was?
Alessandro?
Bishop Alessandro.
What a hacky name.
Bishop Alessandro.
Dumb name.
It is a pleasure that you have come to our city, although this late at night. How can we be of help?
When he turns to look at you, his eyes first go wide and then narrow. I see I've been sent to the correct place. I am here to find the unclean, and there are unclean in this city. They should be rooted out.
I have sensed that as well and have been doing some investigations, although I've come up with little past the infernalist cultists that we have dealt with. Brother Miguel, and he'll extend his hand.
He won't. He just looks at your hand, almost like it's a snake. That's the funny thing about the unclean. They wrap themselves in the clothes of those who claim to be pious. But I can sense them. I always can. And he's staring right at you at the time.
I'm going to very softly just kind of back up towards where I know Snatcher is and very defensively put my hand out almost like on his stomach to push him further out as I start to like kind of like insist that we not be here anymore.
And his eyes barely flick towards you and then locks right back on Miguel's. Thankfully, I have been blessed with ways to deal with unclean things, especially unclean things who taint holy ground. You said your name is Brother Miguel. Tell me, Miguel, how long have you been here?
It seems much longer than it has been. I have been shepherding to this congregation and to the city for many years. I have also acquired something from Guard that I believe belongs to you, and he'll hand over the coin sack.
Okay. When he reaches out to take the bag, his hand brushes yours. You take one aggravated wound as the power of God burns your skin.
How does that work with my fortitude soaking that?
Because it's going to be aggravated, but fortitude will let you soak against it. So you can roll. How many dots of fortitude do you have? You've got one.
One.
Roll one die.
I've got two, and if I'm looking at this right.
Let me look at the right. Hang on. I think I had the wrong sheet open. There we go. You got
And
2 dots
people
of
say
fortitude.
that the Canaanites are creepy.
I will let you roll 2 dice against difficulty 6.
I got 1 9.
So you got a single 9?
Yep.
So you don't take the aggravated, but you feel it burning you. And he gets a smile, and it's a smile that does not touch his eyes. The unclean are punished.
Do I have to make any roll to not flinch or anything? Or
willpower, difficulty 8. Number of dice equal to your current willpower, difficulty 8.
Yes. That is.
As long as you got 1, I'll let you not flinch because it was so little.
That was 4 successes.
Very nice against a difficulty 8. Very impressive. You don't flinch at all.
Was that about one person getting high rolls? I'm just
Listen, as long as we got the bell curve going on, I am okay because my rolls are not 8s and 9s.
That is my biggest dice pool. That is the best I can do.
My suggestion, Miguel, and he's deliberately not using brother, is for you to leave this place. Do not return. Oh, this time. You feel the weight when he says those words, and you can't help it. You turn and run. For one turn. But that's enough that you flee the church. And as you're fleeing, you can hear him saying, "We will discuss this, sister, at another time. I am taking over this chapel." She's not an idiot. She's not a fool. She's been around long enough. You hear her just say, "Yes, Bishop." She knows. And almost soon, Augustine and Snatcher left as well, because you could feel the power that got turned on Miguel. It was also technically enough to make you run too.
Is there any chance before my beast tells me to beat feet that I would have been able to tell if he looked at me or near me?
You were so close to Augustine.
Oh, it
He
could have
just
just
flicked
been
towards Augustine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I purposely put myself in front of you just in case shit got hairy.
Because now Snatcher's starting to wonder if he could have just seen him the whole time.
But given who my sire is and what clan I belong to, the moment he looks in my direction, I'm just going to be like, "Bishop, till we meet again."
And the look as you go to leave, because you feel that weight push against you. You've seen your sire with the same kind of a look on his face. It is someone who enjoys the pain he inflicts. It is a sadist grin.
Yeah. I have the same mock reverence when I do the sign of the cross that I give Moncada, that I give this guy.
You do it backwards?
No, I still do it how I'm supposed to do it, but it's lip service.
And do you return? Do you attempt to return?
No, I gotta find Miguel.
You find Miguel. He only got to run a turn, so he just ran.
Yeah.
He's not far outside it.
Are you okay? It was palpable in there. I commend you for how far you got.
Certainly a new trick.
Ambrosio has done it before. You'd never get used to it, of course, but you can feel out the boundaries.
He is not the first that I've met, though he was the first who had turned me away.
I would like to lean in and quickly whisper to them, still trying not to break how I'm hiding.
Mm-hmm.
If it matters. Faith seems to be everlasting. Chapels, however, can be rebuilt. I suggest we lock him inside and burn it to the ground.
There are more than just him in there.
Mm-hmm. Acceptable losses.
There are innocent lives in there. There are those who have yet been able to find the way to their own righteousness in there.
Merely expressing my fears.
However, Miguel is going to try to whistle and get Longfeather's attention.
He comes down. Why'd you run? He's not that scary.
He was able to push me away. Down in the basement, in the catacombs as they were, there are some of my kind who I have had disagreements over the years. that are currently taking a nap. How many shinies would it take for you to fly down there and remove their sleeping aids?
I can't go open door. Well, I can. I don't like doing it. It doesn't feel right. It feels unnatural.
The path down, there is a hole that would allow you to bypass any doors. Although when you remove the wood from the chest of them, you may want to flee in a hurry. Have you ever seen one of ours kind with a stake through their heart,
That's not fair.
preventing them from moving?
You don't bargain fair.
Have you ever
No,
seen
I wanna
what happens when they awaken?
Mm,
I
That's
offer
not
you
fair.
knowledge and shinies.
Can get you a mountain of silver.
if you tell anyone I did this,
Tell anyone you did what?
I'm going to poop on everything you own every time you step outside. And you see him close his eyes and he concentrates. And then he kind of shimmers a bit. And there's a short black-haired man. He's got a kind of a long, pointy nose on him. Not like super long, but he's got a real thin, pointy nose. A very dark hair, bushy eyebrows. And he kind of moves his arms like he's trying to figure out how not to flap them. And he's naked, butt-ass naked. I hate this for him. And Augustine, you can hear him say that. He's speaking now.
Oh, well, there's a naked man in the street. I'm glad this is what we set out to accomplish to do.
This is natural. This is how I'm supposed to look. You look weird wearing stuff. You don't put stuff over your feathers.
Feathers provide insulation that we do not have.
It is chilly. You said down in the basement.
Down in the basement. They won't be hard to find.
And his butt-ass naked self, I can't go in the front. I'm going in the back. Going to the side, the back entrance.
I'm sure you know where that is.
Don't let anyone go in your back while you're going into the back.
Okay, you have to explain that later.
No, yeah. Be happy to.
And his naked ass, he's almost gleeful, though his arms keep shaking a bit like he's not used to this form. He thinks he has wings still as he scurries off. I'm pretty sure Miguel doesn't want to be anywhere near this place with this plan enacted.
Oh no, Miguel wants to be here. He is not giving up his church. And he has defense mechanisms inside for just such an occasion.
So why is there a naked man clumping through the streets?
Because it's better than a naked man flying through the sky.
Apparently, our friend Long brother has not has chosen not to wear clothes like our friend, what was his name, Galen, like Galen did.
Well, the more I learn about all of these shapeshifters, the less I want to know.
I just know that I now have to make a small priority of collecting a lot of polished metal.
For what reason?
We can pay it off over time. And I'm sure we should get in touch with Peregrine and Elena and let them know of the situation.
With haste, yes.
I can ask some rats to find them if you want.
Well, do either of them speak with rats?
No, but if the rats indicate them to follow.
Out of character, has they done this before? Has he gotten their attention that way?
What?
I'm asking
Rats?
between
If my rats are good enough at pantomime to be like, follow me.
like
For
like
others in the coterie.
We've had 50 years to perfect this
right? Has
messenger
this
system.
So that's why I'm making sure that this is something that has been done before.
We do this every Thursday. Yeah, fuck it.
All right.
Fucking weekly event.
You know how much Elena finds it distasteful.
Distaste compared to emergency, I find, is an acceptable exchange.
She's inoffensive to animals. I don't know what you're talking about.
He would rather a better class of animal than a rat. Rats are low clan. She wants some cats. She give her some high clan animals.
It's also unfortunate because half the time you're in the palace, so I'm sure you're annoyed at seeing rats visibly in the palace.
Granted, that is kind of bad in the palace.
But they're smart. They don't get caught.
Actually, at this point, she will be out because she is going to see her Malkavian associate with 2 gold coins.
Yes. Do we want them to come here to us, or do we want to find some neutral territory?
You didn't realize, but Peregrine was
tailing him.
No, her route checked parts of the religious quarter too.
Was that just the naked ass man that went into the back of your place?
Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
Yes. There is an Inquisitor inside.
Are we locking the doors and burning it?
Thank you.
No, we
there
are
are innocent
burning
people inside
the church.
Wait, did he do something to y'all? Why aren't you in there?
Because
why'd you go
can't
inside?
be.
He not politely asked us to leave, and we didn't have an option to decline it.
Us is a lot of people. He did something to Miguel, and Snatcher and I, we are far more intelligent people than to push our lucks. And once Miguel left, well, clearly we didn't need to be there anymore either. So we followed suit. Why don't you go inside and introduce yourself, Gwen, please?
You know for a fact that I don't go in there, but out of respect for Miguel.
Oh, okay. Out of respect for Miguel, of course. Yes.
Well, then it would also be out
to
of...
to explain the naked man.
Go back to priorities.
As you are aware, I have found that those who violate our rules of domain, or my rules of domain, should be given the opportunity to see the error in their ways and have taken a partial residence underneath the church in the catacombs.
Residence is a loose use of the word.
Okay, can someone speak plainly for me?
Miguel has staked vampires underneath his church.
Oh!
The naked man is going to go remove the stakes.
Oh!
And hopefully get out of there fast enough.
And take care of the people that are inside.
Take care is a very loose use of those words.
What sort of trouble have you all gotten into now?
I just came upon them.
The guards let Inquisitors
How
into...
How many people know of Elena's Malkavian contact? Has Elena let them know about her?
Sure.
You know they reside in the religious quarter, or she resides in the religious quarter as one of the pagan faiths.
Mm-hmm.
saw there was they had a naked ass man going into the back of
It's a long story. There's many facts that we need to sit down and
I'm
really
sure there are
share.
crazier things in this city than naked men going into churches.
There is. There
Both
really
men
is.
going into churches.
But what he's got to do is something different.
The Inquisitor inside is about to be introduced to the Canaanites who have been on punishment for violating domain of the religious quarter.
Excellent. Why haven't we barred the front door? She tells her guards, bar the front door.
No.
Why? The Inquisitor could escape.
And run right into us.
Then why aren't you in there with him now?
We cannot
because
get
there's
close.
a half a dozen.
So he comes out and then he chases you off?
There's about to be a half a dozen frenzied vampires inside there.
Great. Seal it.
That is
Let
why
them
I'm
go
not
to town.
There are innocents in there as well.
There were innocents in the cities I put to torch. Acceptable losses. Seriously. It is either that or we burn the chapel down. So which would you rather have, Miguel?
We are not burning the chapel.
We will not have an Inquisitor that sent you all running with your tails between your legs, running amok in this city.
If he makes it outside, we will deal with him.
Okay. Then I have business to tend to.
And
she leaves.
As you're going to leave, a naked man comes running out the building. Well, you see him run. Yeah, he stays naked. He comes running out the building just naked.
Johan bars the back door once Longfeather runs out.
There's Long Wing, actually. You're calling him Longfeather. It's Long Wing. And he's even in human form. He keeps seeing his cock his head. That was just that was weird. They were angry.
Now, with any luck, the anger will carry them through any fear.
One tried to bite me.
I do advise you to leave expeditiously.
But there's a bunch of them to left free. They're not happy. They're breaking things.
Including the innocent souls inside, Elena says as she walks away.
This is not the best laid plan, I must say, but I'm going to see it through as long as you want, Miguel.
Time for me to roll something.
Here we go.
He's so worried about innocent souls that he unleashes, a half dozen fucking frenzying vampires.
You have heightened senses on, Miguel. Peregrine, you
I
have
do.
heightened senses on. You smell smoke.
Well, that does
How
change
about-
the situation.
Yeah, sure does.
Okay, we bar the doors.
Should we get your sister out?
She will die in service to the Lord if that comes to it.
As you go to bar doors,
We'll say something nice at her funeral.
it wasn't just your sisters in the building. Several of the priests come out, the brothers, a few of the sisters that were there, along with your ghouls, come running out, screaming. The whole lower something has started a fire in the catacombs.
Wasn't us.
And the way
Bird.
your sister says something, she really means someone. But she doesn't want to say more in front of the others who are standing, yelling for the watch to come call the water brigade, or as they call it, the bucket brigade. Our religious quarters pretty far from the harbor, let me tell you. The bucket brigade's got a lot of work to do.
The door is open and people are exiting. Is the Inquisitor or any of the knights in sight?
No. They didn't come out.
They went down into the catacombs, is what Miguel can tell.
Do you ask?
He will ask.
They went. The bishop asked me, this is your sister speaking, asked me to escort him to inspect the catacombs. I saw someone was in the catacombs and came at him. And he threw up a cross. And it made him run. Turned from him. And told me to leave the grounds or be cleansed. Don't know. There's nothing down there that burns other than the old bodies. Stone.
Thank you. Miguel's going to go and attempt to bar the doors to the catacombs as well.
You're going to go in the building?
I'm going in the building to bar the catacombs closed.
When you get near, give me a Rorschach check, please, as you get to the top of the catacombs. Let me pull up
In
my
this
chart.
edition, is that willpower or courage?
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling up now because it's one of those.
Well, willpower, I'm sure.
Might be
road
courage
check.
if it's fire based.
Yeah, no, it's I
fire
believe it's
based.
courage.
Where's my notes? Here we go. I've got one for Rorschach. Someone here. Frenzy. There we go. That's what we're looking for.
To any young Canaanites watching, avoid fire.
The difficulty
At all costs.
against fire is going to be 7.
All right,
It's a
so
courage
since
roll.
it is a courage roll and not a willpower roll, that means I can spend a willpower.
Yep.
All right.
That's how you do it.
Capped by your road rating, of course. But your road rating is high enough that doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, if you can cap it by the road rating, all right. I'll spend all three willpower.
Okay.
All right, so that is 3 successes. I don't think we can get a specialty in courage, can we?
No. So you avoid running. You can feel your beast. He's not happy with you seeing the fire. The fire that's burning down in the catacomb, it's reached the door. Miguel, you've seen your fair share of fires. This fire has no fuel, but it's burning. As you close the stone door that leads down to the catacombs,
Barring the door and listen.
you have heightened senses on.
I do.
Wits awareness. Or sorry, perception awareness. Yes, about the supernatural, perception awareness.
Do I need to do it too as
No,
Peregrine?
you're not close enough unless you went in the building with him.
No.
I didn't think so.
All right. What is the difficulty on that?
That one I'm going to put at a difficulty 8. Just because of what's happening.
Before or after the heightened senses?
Before.
Okay. So with heightened senses, that brings it down to 6, and that makes 4 successes.
The fire is whispering. Must burn. Must kill. Must purge. Must destroy. Just over and over. But you bar it until the smoke and until the fire starts to lap through the stone door, not through, but around the edges of the stone door. It's very slowly forcing its way out. In which case, I'm going to say that no matter Roshrek will keep you there as the fire is slowly pushing out of the door around the edges. It's very slow at first, it's not easy for it to do. And no natural fire would do that.
Gal will stand at the door as long as he can before fleeing and barring and making sure that the rest of the church is barred up.
As you flee out or bar the rest of the church, several of the priests have run now to go get the bucket brigade. Good luck. Right here, I'm going to end this episode. Y'all have got a problem in your city, a few of them. Are they related? I'd like to thank my players, and you, the viewers who come to watch us. XP. Let's see, everyone starts with 3 because we had good role play. Everyone learned something, and you were all here. Because of what I did to you this episode, I'm going to give you all a 4th one. It's the season premiere. Why not? 4 XP for everybody. I'm being generous for reasons. Of course. So how does everybody feel about season 2?
It feels like a bunch of horse shit.
Season 1, you had it easy.
I'll role play that out next session.
Some bullshit.
What, the bullshit or the idiot men or the idiot bullshit men?
Men is a lot of people.
All of the above.
See, it's annoying. We even fell into the classic trap. We didn't expect them.
Mm-hmm. No one expects.
The Inquisition.
The Spanish Inquisition. Alessandro. Close enough.
Again, punk name.
Yeah. Of course, thank you, viewers, for coming out for the season premiere of this one. Hey, let me tell you, every Wednesday for the next, however long this season takes, 10 episodes, 8, 9, either they win or they die, something like that. I hope you enjoy a glimpse into what it means to run a city in the Dark Ages, though. Of course, join us on the Discord. So you know, this show come from the Discord. Kansas City came from the Discord. Old Gods of Appalachia that's coming up. That was from our Discord too. All of our shows come from the Discord. So definitely join our Discord. You want to see the back episodes like all of season 1 of this, or our Windy City that we finished, or Werewolf, Mage, Changeling, Demon, Wraith, Bluebeard's Bride, Jesus Christ. So many games. Monster Hearts. The rest of the episodes of Monster Hearts. Go to our YouTube. You want to see some Call of Cthulhu or D&D? Go to the Ishval channel. That's where Tiss, our Dr. Tiss, our British game master, that's where she puts her stuff. You want to see some good content creators? Got one over here, got one down here. I'm going to go to them in a minute. After the schedule, we'll go to them and let them say what they've been doing so you can go into depths on them. But there's their channels there. You want to support the players of the stream. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I missed merch. Thank you, Astral. If you want to get some Windy City, some vampire merch, studio merch, go to our merch store. Please sign in. Some of it's adult. And I think now we need a This Is Bullshit t-shirt.
I still say we need an idiot men.
I mean, I'm fine with that too.
It needs to be in the prettiest filigree.
And if
Prettiest.
you
pink
want to
filigree.
support the players, bits and donations, everybody, that goes to the players of the stream, not to the studio. The only thing we have to pull out is taxes because we get taxed all to hell. Trust me, it's not funny. But if you want to support the players, bits and donations go to them. If you want to support the studio, you can subscribe here on Twitch. You can go to our Ko-fi and give us a coffee that way. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button on our channel. Hit the like, the video. Hit the notification icon. Comment on the video. All those things in YouTube drive up our engagement. Okay. Sometimes you don't have to bar the door or you don't have to burn it down. Somebody starts the fire for you. Because in the world of darkness, fire is a universal way to kill a lot of shit.
Or something is the fire, and that's still not okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. I thought it was fine. Now I'm going to turn it over to my lovely wife so she can give our schedule because, hey, guess what? We got other streams this week.
Yeah, we do. All right. So coming up over the next week on Friday, you're going to join me and my table of maladaptive miscreants in Monster Hearts for the finale of this series of Monster Hearts. That includes Ravnos Archon and Junie Von Esch this time around, with others that are telling amazing freaking coming-of-age stories. And join us as we wrap up that at 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Then Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Is Tiss streaming or not?
This week, yes.
Okay.
She's about to take a couple weeks off, but she is streaming this week.
All right. So join Tiss at 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday with her group of investigators in Call of Cthulhu 7E, London Esoteric Society. The last I heard, they were taking a spa day, and I'm sure that went great. So no telling what they'll be up to now. And then on Sunday, starting at noon and running until roughly between 8 to 10 p.m., we are doing the marathon of Windy City After Dark. We are on
We'll be finishing up season 3.
Season 3 and going into season 4. Yep. Yeah. So you'll want to join us and just have that running in the background on Sunday because it's going to be streaming pretty much all day.
Hey, it's got no breaks. Only one intro, which is at the start of the episode. There's no breaks, no outro. It just goes through.
Yeah.
Lots of vampire back to back.
Yeah. And then we will be back here on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern with season 2, episode 2 of Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages.
Unless the players murder me this week because of all the shit I've thrown at them tonight.
Nah.
They've got a solution. They'll burn the whole city down if they have to. And rebuild. They're eternal if they don't die. They're eternal until you kill them.
Like lobsters.
So I know we got a number of people here that do other things. Let me start. I'll go around. Let me hit Will. Ravnos Archon there. What you got going on for peoples?
What's up, everybody? Every time that I get to this, I always choose a different accent in my head, and it always comes out European. But I have my own stuff that I do here on Twitch. Mondays, I do Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Tuesdays, I revolve around Legend of the Five Rings or Werewolf of the Wild West. And Thursdays, I have a 7th Sea that currently doesn't have a partner to alternate with. But I'm excited to get back into the lovable scamp that Agustin is, because he's done nothing wrong ever in his life. I'm excited for the end of Monster Hearts, and I'm excited for the Appalachian trek that we're going to be having for the spookiness that is October.
That starts October 5th, I believe. Thursday, October 5th. And trust me, the Old Gods of Appalachia is looking to be a great miniseries. I'm in it. Berlin's in it. Timber Brad from Windy City's in it. And Rev Ben Powers is in it. For those that saw Ghost Hunters or You Will Destroy Something Beautiful, or actually the first season of Monster Hearts. Rev Ben Powers is, it's going to be an interesting game. And of course, Maddox, you can tell people what you're doing even though we know the answer. We have to do it.
Doing passable. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing passable.
I'm playing Snatcher, that's it.
Yeah, better than snatching players, I guess.
Okay. Not depending. Junie, why don't you let everybody know what you got going on?
Well, we got this going on. We have Monster Hearts on Friday. The RPG table will be starting off our new season this Saturday, where I get to kill players. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Where else can you kill people at C2E2? Then I have DC by Night on Sundays, and then every other Thursday I am with Augustine Ravenos on 7C.
And Junie's busy.
A little, just a token.
Zach, I know you got a few things, so let everybody know what you got going on. And I know you've got another announcement, not just what you got directly going on, but some other parts. So go for it.
All right. Well, the first Kickstarter that I wrote on is wrapping up in a little over a week. We're about to, we're going for our 5th stretch goal. So if you want to see the monsters that I wrote for Titans Rising for Scion, there's a link in the chat, which is down that, I don't know where it is. It's on a different side of my screen because I pop it out, so it's makes it even more difficult for me to point at it. You can find my other stuff on my website, zackrolls.com. I paid so the monies to get it renewed, so it is there, and we'll see how that goes. Friday, I am going to be on Oxpath Twitch playing Scion Titans Rising. There is a possibility that on Saturday, 5 p.m., I will be playing over at the MS Society for raising money for their annual fundraiser for streaming. That's a possibility. It might happen. So check that out. And then I'll be back here next Wednesday.
So if you like Scion, let me tell you, we've streamed Scion. I know Verlin played in it. She had a blast playing in it. Check out the Kickstarter, his first Kickstarter he got the right part of. So check that out. Pop over to Kickstarter, back the project. So, and as always, everybody, as we're ending this stream, I want to say that mental health, it's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. Please take mental health seriously. Take your own mental health seriously. Take the mental health of others seriously. And check in on each other. And if you suffer from mental health issues, like many of us do, myself included, please don't hesitate to reach out to your own support network around you. But I know a lot of people don't feel they have one. And if you don't, there's a list of numbers in chat. You can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There will be somebody on the other end of the line who can help you out and to be that lifeline you need and that voice you need. Because mental health is health. And while it's okay to not be okay, you shouldn't have to bear it alone. And you should always get the health you need or the help you need. And if you're not in the U.S. or you're watching this on YouTube, you can go to findahelpline.com. Findahelpline.com lets you put in your country of origin and find out the support network in your country. So please take your mental health seriously. And I'll turn it over to my wife as we wrap up this first episode of the season.
All right, y'all. It's that time of year. Time to get your COVID booster and your flu shot. Get it done. Don't be an idiot. Get your stick, okay? Get your stick. And take care of yourself, mind and body. And fuck the fascists. Fuck all of them. The fucking GOP in the House can't even fucking do their job and make a budget.
Please. Now, this is Shanky here. Please call your representatives. Tell them to pass a fucking budget.
Please.
If the government shuts down, I shut down.
Yeah.
I am a contractor, a federal contractor. If the government shuts down,
he don't get paid.
I don't get paid. I can't pay my bills. I can't pay for everything that makes the studio even function.
Yep.
So call your representatives and tell them we need to pass a budget. That is their only job. Is the only real job of Congress. The country can endure if they don't pass a single law. The country can't endure if they don't pass a budget.
Yeah.
It's that, it personally affects me.
Yeah.
To shut the government down. I'm just trying to provide for my family. Don't let them shut the government down. Tell them don't do that shit.
So, write to your representatives, call their offices, fucking harass the shit out of them. And make sure you're registered to vote. Because enough of their bullshit. Really, enough of their bullshit. They are wasting taxpayer money. Wasting it. And doing things that harm people especially marginalized communities. So please,
I do.
said with love.
And I do thank you all for coming. And I thank my players for returning for this season. We'll see if they are thankful by the end of the season that they came back. We'll see. Thank you, everybody. Good night.